New hand.
Well, that was an interesting hand there, and another victim. Now we're down to 7 players left in this 10-seat tournament, PKR TV. And still lots of enthusiasm there at the table.
It's not too serious yet, but I tell you, once it gets down to the last few, I predict a few less emotes.
Yeah, indeed, they'll be taking
a little bit of focus.
Well, and lots of players out there already using the different control features available on PKR to try to establish a table presence, maybe try to...
yeah, maybe try to come across as less serious than they really are.
Exactly. Can't bully me deep in thought.
Yeah, you've seen this young lady before. Won a previous TV tournament.
That's right, yeah, and...
this is form in the book.
Absolutely.
I check.
Been there before, had the pressure,
had
the crowd.
Still going strong this time.
Well, what are we going to see from the Queen 4? Not a great deal, is my guess.
Yeah, one would hope not.
Yeah, let's just get out of this hand right now. It's a pot bet of 300. You've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Next hand.
It's a good strong bet as well. I mean, the chances are no one's hit there.
You're going to see the 4s shown. We haven't really seen a lot of cards shown that before now. I think that'll come into usage at some point, won't it?
Yeah, probably more towards the end when the blinds get bigger.
Yeah, when you've got to start stealing instead of having hands hold up, I think you're probably going to want to show the odd top pair, make sure people don't think that you're on the pilfer.
Yeah, keep some respect.
Pass.
Like that, Stetson.
Of course, the blind's now at 5,100. I mean, it gets somewhere near worth stealing now.
Yeah.
Oh wow! From a player who's been pretty quiet.
You might see a call here. This is an odd sort of a spot. It's got 100 in already invested, the 7s.
And Jake's got a big enough stack where he can certainly afford to gamble a little bit.
I suppose, but it's not really what we're here for, is it, as poker players, to be calling all in on a race or worse.
And I don't know why Tapsy Tap shoves either when there's only 100 out there.
Yeah, you could easily put 250 in, 300.
Well, and especially from a player who'd been quite quiet and careful up till then, and well, that's his game now.
Yeah, and despite the 7 on the river, which was unnecessary, the 7s hold up.
And goodbye Tapsy Taps, we're down to 6.
Yeah, and I really think that with 7 left, the Queen Jack suited becomes more like a 7-8 suited. It is a hand where you want to see a flop.
Yeah, sure, drawing hand. Yeah, cheaply.
Yeah, it may look like a big hand, but it really is only Queen high.
And he was lucky to be 50-50.
Well, this is our first rockets of the tournament. They belong to Shawnee.
So far.
Kind of a, you know, a standard raise, but a bit inviting. Low enough that...
yeah, I don't mind the call because it's the kind of hand you want to bust aces with, but it's from the small blind.
It's exactly the hand to be calling aces with,
yeah. It is.
The problem is being out of position, as you say, from the small blind. But
and the way I like to look at it now, if I was Can't Bully Me, I'd want to see this turn, and I think I've got more than just the gut shot straight drawers outs. You've got clubs, you know. Your opponent might have ace-king.
Here comes the turn card.
Well, she's pretty invested in it, and didn't get much for her money.
Yeah, the pot's $2,000, and I don't think that Can't Bully Me is going to get to see this river.
No, me neither. I think she's lost a bit of interest now.
How big is the bet? That's the question. It's 1,000.
Extremely tough call there for
way too big. It would be a fishy call, in my opinion.
It would be. It's a good bet if Sean's putting them on Jack Queen, Jack King, something like that. But not with the 4-5s.
I fold.
Shows the 4-5 suited.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, maybe trying to develop a bit of a fishy reputation there on the table. I don't know.
Maybe. And we've got a little bit of a runaway chip leader here in Jake. Guy knows how to play. I expect him to be there in the last couple.
Okay.
Yeah, he's playing well, isn't he?
Ah, cool with the ace-jack of clubs on the button. I think I might have just popped it up a bit there.
Definitely.
Let the 6-3 in. I really hate doing that kind of thing.
Ooh.
Wow.
Could work out nicely if another club comes off.
Absolute monster of a flop for Sparky.
And for Jake as well, 2 pair.
And for Jake. I don't know, which hand would you rather have? I see the percentages, but which one?
Give me the made hand.
Give me the ace-jack of clubs.
Fish bag.
No risk for you.
I like the 3-6. you know where you are with that hand.
Well, actually, you don't if a club comes.
I didn't realize. Oh, well, there is less than a 1% chance that it still might come. And Knave is there. He's keeping the faith.
Running 6s.
it's all over for Nave, unfortunately.
I bet.
Jake's well aware how many draws are out on this board. He's betting big.
Yeah.
And insta-called.
Insta-call from the gut shot, royal flush draw.
And boom, fill up for Jake.
It's a good card on the end for Sparky in the end. You're not going to lose any money.
Sure.
You can't lay it down. I think the bet was a quarter of the pot on the turn. I don't think you'd be folding or raising there, would you?
No way.
Hand's played itself. Best hand is held up in the end. Or the best flopped hand, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice pot.
shows off his full house there.
Yep. Very nice pot.
New hand.
Interesting hand. That was one of the meatiest hands I think we've had so far. Big bets, interesting draws coming out. And well played, I think, by everybody in it.
I think so. I think the ace-jack lost the minimum there, really, if he was going to miss.
And perhaps Jake could have bet a little bit more than 1,200 on the turn. But again,
you
have
guys
to know
are so picky. You're so picky.
Colin, as a poker player, you've got to be a perfectionist. You've got to
keep
about the
details.
Oh, and a flopped trips there.
Believe me, is no stranger to being hit in the face with the deck.
No, indeed.
That's for sure. We've seen it before.
Yeah,
lots
bit of a card work in the last one.
Yeah. She had an incredible run there in our first PKR TV tournament, didn't she? And just scoops it up right there and then.
Does tend to play very aggressively when she has a good hand, can't believe me.
Bring it on.
But she, I noticed at least in the first tournament, she was getting lots of callers.
Yeah.
So justified, I think, maybe a little bit in that aggression.
Well, look at the result, she won. So.
Yeah. Well, we've got 6 left here, and one of them really is on the morphine drip. 600. That's what, 3 or 4 lines.
Yeah. Going to be getting in pretty soon.
Well, nothing very exciting so far. Is Nave gonna maybe make a play?
Fold.
I'll close. Folds the ace-5 on the.
It's a pretty tight fold from the button, but it turns out to have been a good fold.
Check.
At least the 410 knows exactly 100% what he has to do to win this pot.
Exactly.
Indeed. A bit cheeky of the ace-king to not raise pre.
Is it cheeky? We've just
I think it's a good play. Personally, I like it, but
I don't believe that the ace-king is checking to induce a bet to call.
No, not now, but pre-flop,
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just think this hand shows the weakness of ace-king sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that the 410, it's really been there all along for the raggy hand to take it. And I think that Jake will probably feel a little like he missed an opportunity there.
Still, it's hard to bet when you're holding 10 high.
I suppose, but a rule I go by is when a guy checks to you 3 times, you're probably you're probably good to take the pot.
I think that's a fair rule.
I raise.
1 times in 100, they might be checking the absolute stone cold nuts to you, but
that'll well, this could be a
great hand. We've seen the King Jack against the King Jack earlier, and we saw the guy in position earn that pot. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, Sean earned it in position last time, didn't he? Let's see if Jake can do the same to Nave. He really ought to.
Let's hope it comes. Well, I don't know. I was going to say 8 high, but
well, that's almost as good.
I mean, that's a good flop actually. It's really going to find out who wants this pot.
Yeah. Well, Jake's a good player. He's shown he can use position and information well, so I see him winning this pot.
Well, that's a pretty good sized bet. It's a min raise. Dangerous for the 9s, and this is exactly the same situation.
Yeah.
Guy out of position leads out, gets min raised, and now really, where do you think the 9s are if you're Nave?
Ooh,
I don't mind the call there.
I think that's a brave call unless you're putting them on a draw.
I think it's the 9 of diamonds that just swung it there.
I check.
And now he's raising the white flag, I think, with that check.
Well, I don't know. You've got to think that maybe this is going to be a split pot, and they're both going to sit to the end.
I have a feeling Nave's going to get out right here. He's got 3,000 left in his stack. His tournament life is on the line, really, if he makes the call.
Yeah, maybe you're right. And maybe you're right. It is an intimidating position.
How do you call pocket 9s with 2 10s on the board? Yeah,
and when you raise on the flop.
Yeah, and he made no action previously when he had the chance. So
2 other small things. One is that bet was only a quarter of the pot, I think, on the turn, and really was begging to be called. And you know that if you call it, you're going to almost inevitably face a bet on the river.